Hey guys. Um, I'm gonna make an announcement on Discord and then we can start. What's up, guys? Hey, Elder, what's up? Okay, so today thought it would be a cool topic to talk about tanks. Mainly because it's, well, this is what I wanted to talk about. Oh, sorry, my mic was really far away. How's it going, guys? So today I wanted to talk about tanks, specifically their, not just like their role in the game, but which heroes I recommend. No, I don't recommend that. And I think tanking is like really difficult to talk about because there have been idle games that I've played where you don't even need a tank, honestly. Like where damage scaled in a way where it was just always better to have more damage and try to like burst down the other team. So you got to think to yourself, like, what are scenarios where it's important to have a tank? Like when do you cut, like, where's the line where you're just like, okay, instead of pulling in another healer and another DPS hero, I need someone who can take all these attacks so that the rest of my team survives long enough. But like I said, the way that damage scales in some games makes it to, as long as the hero is able to cast their skill, they've done their job. In a meta where you want a hero to cast their skill multiple times, like you want to go past 3 to 4 rounds, maybe 5 rounds, then you're going to need tanks and healers. And currently in with heroes, I think that there is a need for tanks. And I think that the reason with heroes allows this tank strategy, rather than just a full DPS or like healers out healing damage against DPS heroes, is because you're able to change formations. This is like a tank's dream, right? Like they don't have to worry about like 1-5, if you guys can see. This 1-5 allows your tank to eat all basic attack damage, which means like the damage that people use without their skill, and it also allows the tank to hit any abilities that say targets the front line on their own. So with heroes, there's also a downside to this, and that's that there are some skills that focus the entire backline. They'll just say like hits backline for like this much damage, and against a 1-5, you're gonna, yeah, that sucks. But the opposite is also true. There are buffs that buff the entire backline. Like when this hero casts their skill, the backline gets 5% increased attack or something. That's a really good buff for a team that runs a 1-5. So depending on, you will use the formation that best fits your team more than like, oh, I'm going to pick a formation and try to build around it, right? So if this is relevant to tanking because I think there are some tanks that thrive in a 1-5 setup, and there are some tanks that thrive in like a, multi frontline setup. So just wanted to bring this up. You'll note it. We'll get into it because we'll go through all the tanks, which will be interesting. I'm gonna skip this. I just wanted to update my team. My temporary team. Got like 3 more days before I start making a decision on my real team. And I'll actually talk about that real quick. So one of the reasons that my team is garbage right now is because I haven't invested any of my tickets and things like that. I'm sitting on a Frost ticket, which allows me to pick any blue hero. So I can even pick mythics. So I'm probably going to go Athena. I don't know yet, but I'm saving this. I'm saving my 5 legendary tickets, things like that, for day 7 when I get the mythic chest. Because what ended up happening last time is that I went silence. Like my main team was silence, and that was useless because when I opened up the mythic chest, I got an assassin ticket, and silence doesn't have an assassin. Sadly, well, they do. They have a legendary, but not a mythic. All right, let's go back into tanking. So what I wanted to talk about with tanking is essentially, I'll use gallery. Should probably switch to my other account because it bothers me that they're grayed out. First off, almost every tank in the game is going to be assassin. Assassin. It's going to be warrior. I mean, there might be some supporter options, but I'll review them at the end. So let's go ahead and do this. We've got a lot of warriors, but we can narrow down some of these because some warriors aren't tank warriors. They're more like DPS warriors. Like think of like you've played other video games, right? Think of like, you've got your like metal armor wearing tanks, but you are warriors, but you can also have your like, dual wielding great swords warriors, which just are for damage, right? But they're a little bit healthier. They're not building much defenses. And I think With Heroes has that too. And the first example is your like damaging warrior is going to be one that we all have. It's Thor. I think Thor is a good warrior, but he's not a good tank. You can tell that most of his, this is an obvious tell, crit rate goes up for his backline. Like, this is a decent buff. He doesn't have any immunity. You can see that. I mean, he has like a little bit, like this is nothing, like 5% dodge. He's got a little bit of defense as well. But, he's not running anything that actually heals himself, keeps him alive. He doesn't have, what's that thing called? Immortality. He has immunity, but I think this is one of the worst stats in the game. I think it's immortality. What's that other thing called? Shield. Shield is really OP in this game, by the way, because it's based off your max health, or it's based off your attack stat. So he's decent. Like, he can take damage, but I wouldn't put him as your main tank. See, now Thor might be good in a... This is what... Remember I was talking about earlier about the 1-5 formation? I could see Thor doing really well in like a 2-4 or a 3-3, where he's like not the only tank up there. There's maybe someone else with him. That would work really well. I don't know. I just wanted to talk about, like, there are going to be heroes on here that are very obviously not tanks. I just wanted to point. That was one of them that I thought. But let's go ahead and start from Valkyrie. And I think Valkyrie is a good one to start with because... Well, it's not a good one to start with. It's one we'll need to talk about because people have mixed opinions on her. Let's pick something really easy. I'm very familiar with Leonidas. I think I had him at 10-star on my other account, so I used him a lot. Oh, sorry. I meant to go to skills here. What you're looking for are from like tanks that can take a lot of damage like that, but you're also looking for buffs. Like, you don't care about damage. You want tanks that can live forever and buff your team at the same time. That's like the ideal tank. And I think Leonidas does this okay. He silences enemies, which unfortunately he only hits one, but it's 35%. It's not great. There's better options, and we'll go over the best option for a tank. I think Siegfried, Cthulhu, some of those guys have the ability I'm talking about, but we'll get to that later. But plus 2% speed to the entire backline. This is why Leonidas does well on a 1-5. Because I mean, giving 2% speed to your entire backline is really good. Oh, there's more info I need to tell you guys who are watching. So there's this other thing. It's called speed in the game, and what you'll notice is, I'm going to run through it real fast, but what you'll notice is that everything on the same, like every type of hero, like warrior, supporter, mage, ranger, they tend to have the same or very similar speed. So very rarely will like a warrior outspeed a ranger, right? Or like, I don't think that ever happens. So when you give your team like plus 2% speed, what that does is it doesn't make like a warrior outspeed a ranger. That'll never happen. Or I don't know what the order is. It's on the tier list, I think. But a ranger will outspeed another ranger, which can be really good. So look at the warriors. We're going to run through it really fast. Look at, this is the speed stat right here. 1202. 1202. 1202. 1202. 12. Look at this. See how the speed number is not changing at all? It will for a few. Like, there you go. Frankenstein. But generally, they're all the same exact speed. So when you see a speed buff, it's better than you think. It's not like Tap Tap Heroes, for those of you that played that game, where everyone has a random speed number. Like, they're all completely random. Clerics can be the fastest. Clerics can also be the slowest. Like, warriors can be super fast. They can all be super slow. Like, just depending on the hero. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with my internet. Might need to change this server next time. It doesn't really make sense, does it? Anyway. Well, dang, there's some drama going on in this, Anyway. Okay. Let's keep going real quick. Yeah, you'll see most of them are only 2 heroes that look, or like 2 or 3 heroes look like they weren't 1202. Let's actually, I'll do it for everyone real quick. Let's go through assassins. Remember, 1202 was, yeah, assassins are way faster. You'll see like a 2% buff isn't going to make a warrior faster than an assassin. They're at 2800-ish. Yeah, they're all around 2800. And then let's look at mages. Your average mage is way slower, but still faster than a warrior. Ranger? Rangers are pretty fast. Faster than mages, but it looks like it looks like assassins are the fastest. But let me check supporter first. I think supporters are slow. Yeah, they're still faster than warriors, but so it looks like it goes assassin, ranger, mage, supporter, warrior, like from top to bottom speed. So just keep that in mind. And honestly, sometimes for these instant heal mages, especially, or not mages, supporters, it's better to go later, right? Because you don't want to heal someone who's already full health. Okay, let's go back to talking about tanks. I got off topic a little bit. And I'll make like a top 5 tanks video one day. I think it'd be cool, like I did for Tap Tap. Let's go with Valkyrie. So Valkyrie is a bleed hero, I think. Yep. And this is the ability that I was saying was really, really strong. Like, not just for Valkyrie, for like anybody. Tanks that have this ability of plus skill point 30% when attacked like, so whenever they're attacked, if it's a 1/5, like if they're in the front and they have the 5 in the back, they're guaranteed to get hit by basic attacks. So when they're attacked, they're going to get plus 30% of their skill point, like bar, where they get to cast their skill. Let's I know one other one that does this, or more than one, but this is another one. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, here it is. This is not it. Where is... I thought for sure Siegfried had this. Oh, here it is. Freeze to the attacker upon damage, 10%. So when he gets attacked, he has a 10% chance. This isn't just skills. There's like basic attacks, skills. Whenever Siegfried gets hit, he has a 10% chance to freeze the enemy for 2 turns. If you're running a freeze team, this might be the best way to stack freeze on an enemy. Why is that important? Because say you have someone like your damage dealers, like, where is he? Say you have what did I just do wrong? Oh, I put mage. Say a Poseidon. He does a ton of damage, but he really needs this plus damage to frozen units. So if say Poseidon he's what, a mage? Say our ranger hits Siegfried, because Siegfried's slow, right? Then because they're faster, they're at 2200 at speed, I think. Gets frozen, then Poseidon goes. He gets frozen, or they're already frozen. He gets extra damage, 15%. That's a lot. Don't underestimate that. So really good. Ice Shards, cool ability. This is really good too. 3 units get 12% less skill point. Can be really strong. These percentages are low, I feel like, but if you level them up, it'll be much better. Sky King, I don't know if you're in our guild. You should definitely join us. We'll try and make room for you. I'd like everyone on YouTube to be in the guild. I mean, you don't have to, obviously. If you have another guild you like, that's totally fine. But it would just be fun to be able to talk like guild strategy and stuff with people on stream. Let's go back to tanks. But that's what I was saying. When you're looking for a good tank, you really should consider that return to attacker thing. Someone with Valkyrie. The coolest thing about Valkyrie is definitely this. So she has a hero's blessing. So whenever she attacks, she like can buff 3 allies with this hero's blessing. But it's a really small, but it does have speed, which is good for rangers. You know, damage reduction is great. Crit damage is meh. Armor break is also not great, and immunity is whatever. But this speed and this damage reduction, I think, is pretty strong. Where is... She has taunt and she has invincible. So this is really good. So when HP goes below 30%, the whole front line takes 70%, has like a 70% chance to become invincible for 2 turns. I mean, this is a scenario with Valkyrie I would run not 1/5. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Look at your tank and then decide if this is a 1/5 tank or like a 2/4 or a 3/3 or maybe even a 5/1. There are some rare 5/1 teams that I think would work. But yeah, I think Valkyrie is going to be a tank if you're going to use, who I think is strong, but a lot of people have said she really needs to get to 10-star, probably for this damage reduction. Damage reduction is actually like the best skill for a tank, obviously. A best stat for a tank, not skill, sorry. The best stat for a tank is going to be damage reduction, but you got to remember it's usually really hard to get. Most tanks don't have it. Gilgamesh, this is the dodge tank, and I think if you're running stun, you have to use Gilgamesh. It's just like, it's a fun build. This is probably one where I would go 2-4. Because he has a taunt, so it's not like he won't get his dodge off. But it might be risky to run him in a 1-5. I'm not because I'm pretty sure he has to start casting his skills before he really gets, a lot. No, I think the problem with Valkyrie is not the taunt. It's that people are running her as a solo tank or a duo tank. I think she's like a 3-3 tank. She's better with more people in the front line. I really think Valkyrie is stronger with more people in the front line. Play 3-3 and she dies first. That's not... I mean, yeah, compared to Arthur, you're running Arthur and Valkyrie. Arthur will out-tank Valkyrie every single day. Who else is in your front line? Because if it's not like someone else like... Oh, Michael? Is Michael your other frontliner who has a self-res? Then alright, I guess she won't survive. But like... If you're going to compare her to like the two heroes that are probably the tankiest other heroes in the game. Let me look at her skills. It's whatever. It's whatever. This is her main skill. I mean, this is her best skill. 2 turns of invincibility for the entire front line. Why not just run a 5-1? Just run 5-1, and then your entire front line is invincible for 2 turns, and you win the game. Run a full burst comp. If she dies that fast, right? Like, I wouldn't run her in a 5-1 because I don't think she would get to 30% of her health. Like, what, you mean dispelled? The invincibility gets dispelled? I could see that, but only against certain teams. I'm just saying, like, if she is dying first, that is actually better. You would want her to die first so she gets HP below 30%. Also, 5% reduction is no joke. Especially if you level this. Like, 10% reduction is going to be OP. It'll save your team for 2 turns. Invincibility. Unless they have a Dispel. A lot of teams aren't running Dispels, by the way. Like... I'm not sure. By the way, she's a green hero. She's not a yellow hero. This game's similar to Tap Tap. Some of the most OP heroes are in yellow and chaos, mostly yellow, holy or whatever. So you got to remember, she's taking up a green slot. Arthur's taking up a yellow slot, and there's a reason he's extremely tanky because he's taking up a valuable position. Most top teams, I think, are going to be running yellow. I keep saying yellow, holy. Dual holy, I mean, as their extra. I think all... Like, actually, let's look through them. I want to see if I can prove this point. Let's keep legendary in there. Look how broken holy is, by the way. Arthur, Quetzalcoatl. Alright, Wukong's bad. That's not a good example. He's garbage. Beowulf we don't know about yet. I think he's just okay. I don't think he's amazing. This guy's garbage. Nuada's pretty good, actually. Jichongbi's amazing. Odin's pretty good. Too bad he's restrained. If he were in any other synergy, I think a lot of people would run him. But because he's in restrain, a lot of people don't. Tsukiyomi, really, really strong. Zeus, alright, one of the best heroes in the game. Michael, another one of the best heroes in the game. And Lakshmi and Himiko, they're supporters, so I can't really talk too much about them. I think they're okay. But really, you're talking about, like, if you took the top 5 holy heroes, they're probably better than the top 5 of anything else. Zeus, Michael, Tsukuyomi, Changbi, Arthur. Actually, you could make a... Now that I'm looking at it, if you forgot synergies and you wanted to make a 6 holy team, you could make a good one. King Arthur tank, maybe Quetzalcoatl up there with them, 2-4. Changbi, Zeus, Michael in the back, and Tsukuyomi. If you didn't care about synergy and you just wanted to go full holy team, I think that'd be a super strong team. Got insane damage with good tanks and, Michael, who's awesome at healing. I don't know, just theory crafting. I could be wrong. I mean, I got way off the tank topic. I know. I just feel like talking about this instead. I think people are going to have a lot of different opinions in this game. Like, I might think, oh, this hero is really, really OP, and someone be like, I tried them, they're garbage. Like this guy. This guy I think is really strong. Someone else might be like, I don't see why he's so good. That's fine. But my point is, you run and play whatever you like. I'm just giving my opinion and my thoughts. If we disagree, you just don't have to build a hero. So it's not like no harm done, right? I suggest everybody like try to think for themselves. Like, don't go to the tier list and be like, oh, let me think of someone rated really poorly. Oh, Wukong is really bad. I think there's a scenario you can make Wukong decent. Right? I just don't think he's that good from the little that I've used him. And no one in the game, like nobody currently playing the game, has every hero at 10 star. So, if the hero's not a 10 star, can you really rate it that well? I think you can by reading the skills. Like, if you have a lot of experience in the game, a lot of people can read the skills and be like, oh, this would work, or no, this wouldn't work. And that's what I'm trying to do, unsuccessfully sometimes. But my point is, this game, because of how OP cards are, because of how strong synergies are, it's hard to just rate a hero based off their skills. Cards make such a difference. Some of those cards out there are really, really broken. Like, really broken. To the point where everyone is running the same cards. So do you rate the hero with these cards or without them? If I'm doing an endgame build, I have to say, all right, let's just pretend all my heroes have invincibility. Because at the end of the day, you can get that from a card. That changes things. It makes squishier heroes much better. And it also, like, here's good. This is an example I've used before. It makes a hero like Lilith, who I think carries really hard in the early game especially. She can do a ton of damage. Her best ability, in my opinion, is Immortal. Does not die for a period of time. Activates 1 time per battle. So when she drops to 1% health, normally when someone would die below 1%, right? She actually has a 60% chance to go immortal for 2 rounds. During those 2 rounds, she has the potential to, silence more people, additional normal attack, more things, do a lot of damage with her skill. That sounds really, really great. But how do I get to cards? No, not the set bonuses. Oh, it's going to make me... let me see if I can find it. I think I know. Here it is. Here you go. Look at this. It's not as strong. Obviously, it's not as strong as her skill. But doesn't it feel bad that you can probably get this up to 20%? Maybe higher? Because you can level cards up, by the way, guys. This isn't even a set bonus. This is just a regular skill. Or 1 card. Isn't it kind of sad that one of her best abilities every single hero can get it at a lower percentage? So I think it really devalues Lilith in the late game, like in the very, very end game, because it overlaps. You always have to remember that. You have to think about it this way. If I knew what team I was playing against, I could specifically build against it and, beat it. Because I would know all the stats and all the things I need to counter. But most people, when they build a team, because they're not super, super rich and they don't have all the heroes in the game, they're trying to build a generically good team. One that does well against all the different synergies. One that does well in Guild Boss, Guild War, Arena, Dungeon, Portal. You just want to build an overall good team. In that scenario, you're probably thinking, I just want the strongest heroes in your opinion, right? But honestly, that there are heroes that fill a niche that make them really strong in certain like fights. Just think about like even Leonidas, right? I just want to use him as an example because I've used him a bunch. Leonidas is I have to sort because this is the best way. Okay. Leonidas is 2% buff to the backline. Is like normally just okay, whatever. But in certain matchups, like say you're up against a team that has two of the same heroes. And that hero could be someone like Zeus. Like you're up against the two teams with Zeus. If you're able to boost your Zeus's speed by 2%, all that means is he's going to cast his skill before the other Zeus. And if that skill kills the other Zeus, then I countered him in a way, right? So things like that. This was like the simplest example I could come up with. There are others though. Speed is a really good one. Giving your hero that 1% extra speed or from like a card may overall his damage may go lower, but in something like Arena, it may make them stronger because they're outspeeding their equivalent. That's what ended up happening in Tap Tap. And I don't want to go too far into Tap Tap meta because it's really boring, but the Tap Tap meta ended up being who had the fastest Phoenix or who had the fastest healer or Shudmel early on. Early on, who had the fastest, like very early, who had the fastest Luna was the most important thing. So people would just stack as many speed boosts on their Shudmel or Luna as possible to get the silence off early. And if you don't play those games, I'm sorry because this doesn't make sense. But a short little thing was those heroes did silence CC whenever they auto attacked or base or used their skilled. So if your hero, and everyone ran them, everyone had Shudmel and Luna at one point, right? So if your Luna was like 1% faster than their Luna, it just meant that she cast her AoE silence first, meaning the enemy Luna couldn't cast hers. So then you basically automatically won the fight if you were able to silence theirs first. The downside was then your Luna did a lot less damage or was way squishier because you ran all speed runes and speed artifacts on them, so you had no HP or attack buffs, right? In that scenario, yeah, my speed Luna was way better than their attack Luna, but in a scenario where the other team didn't have a Luna, mine was worse, right? That's going to happen a lot in this game. A lot more than in Tap Tap, honestly. There's going to be certain scenarios where, yeah, this hero is really strong in this situation because they counted 20... Who gives 29? Like, I can't summon him now because I got 29 out of 30. Let's open some on stream. 8. Wow. So, yeah, I don't buy these. Wait a second. How far away am I from, Oh, I'm far. 70 more would be nice. This is crazy. Some people are going to get this. I don't think I will. I'm at what? Oh, I'm at 900. Nah, it's going to be close. I don't think I'll get it. Sorry. I'll go back to talking about ideas soon. Where was I? Talking about speed and stuff. Let's go back to gallery. I'm not going to talk about cards that much, but there are some OP cards like Resurrection as well. Fortunately, they both take the same spot, so you can't stack them, right? But also, I think there's a... Where is it? Is it Follows the Victor? This could be really strong too, especially on like a double attack hero. Invincible for 2 turns, has a 5% chance to apply on a normal attack, but doesn't sound good. But if this boosts up to 10% when you level, and you have a hero that does a lot of normal attacks because they have like a double attack percentage, it could be good. Oh, see, pair these together, double attack and invincible. Might be better than the other one, honestly, because it can probably proc several times per turn. See, like I want everyone to kind of find this like cool strategy, maybe like this. Find the hero that has the highest double attack stat. I have no idea who that is. And then stack a bunch of double attack buffs. Like, see, there's a 5% here you could get. There's 5% there you can get. 5%, like you can't get all these, but like you have options, right? 5% there. There's 5% there. I wish there was one in the first row, but I don't think there is. And then you can not just cards, but you can like roll their equipment stats to get some double attack. And maybe, who do you think has the highest? Who do you think has the most double attack in the game? I'm gonna assume it's an assassin or a ranger. Let's just say that. And yeah, let's do this. I think you can look at double attack here, right? Yeah, 5% from him. I don't know why I'm doing this. This is a waste of time, but it's just kind of fun. These guys all have... And I'm looking at this stat, but this is dumb because they might have like a skill that gives them extra double attack. Yeah, if you could get it higher... Yeah, you have to really invest in it. You'd have to like specifically have heroes that buff double attack and things like that, right? I'm assuming double attack procs it. I could be wrong because... we would need a test, but I'm guessing like you can get it to proc off the second double like normal attack from double attack, right? I just assumed that. I think I'd have to read through it. You guys, some of you guys probably can think of one. I'm just being lazy. Like I think Jester has some good double attack. No, it was additional normal attacks. Oh, see. Double attack 10% here when he normal attacks, but it's a 30% chance. And then he also gets a basic double attack 5%. So you're talking there's 15 right there. Plus the card that puts you at 20. It could be good. Then you have some other heroes who can buff the backline's double attack. He gets double attack as well. That's not enough. It's just too low. I mean, double attack's really good. I'll have to watch again. I don't think double attack gives you double energy, though. You know how basic attacks give you energy? I'm not sure if the second attack also gives you energy. Yeah, 10% is low, but it lasts for 2 turns, right? So imagine this. You get it. I don't know if this is how it works, but let's just assume some things. You get the double attack, and then you get invincibility because you get the 10% chance to proc. By the way, these can all be leveled. So let's say a best case scenario, you get 25 to 20%. Say you get it to proc, now you have 2 turns of invincibility. What if on the first turn, you like your next attack, you still have 2 turns, right? Now you have 1 turn left. You get it again. What if you could stack the turn duration on invincibility? I don't think invulnerability stacks, but double attack definitely stacks. Yeah, that sucks. I figured the duration went stack. Yeah, you're right. Invisibility turn probably doesn't stack. That's fine. It'd be kind of broken. I mean, invincibility is the best thing in the game, right? Like, no damage taken. Like, what's better than that? It's even better than, say, like, double damage, right? I'd rather not take damage, have them waste their skills on me, than just do more damage. So, I'm not gonna say like I'm obviously not a highly ranked player in this game right now. I think I'll get there one day, just like other games that I've played. But there seems to be a trend where damage heroes are taken more in the top place teams than CC heroes, which really confuses me if the game were well balanced. Right? The reason it confuses me is because if you're fast and you have CC, it's almost the equivalent of invincibility in a sense. Because it just means they can't do anything. So you're not taking damage just like you were invincible. You're also not taking damage because their hero can't move. They can't attack you. They can't cast skills. So CC, what I mean by I should clarify for people. CC means crowd control, and it basically stands, or it basically means in this game freeze, stun, petrify, freeze, stun, petrify, and like restrain sometimes. I think restrain still lets some people cast. Restrain is just bad because it's like just a worse version of a CC, and it doesn't really apply more often than other CCs. So I'm going to leave that one out. Yeah, crowd control. So stun, freeze, petrify, silence in a sense for skills, right? Silence stops skills from being cast. And that's it, right? So silence is and restrain are kind of like a little worse. I still think silence is better than restrain, but silence and restrain are like the lower tier CCs. They're called like soft CCs sometimes in other games. And stun, petrify, and freeze are like hard CCs. Like they stop you from doing anything. Good news. Wait, should I say good news? Or is this bad news? Well, news. I'm pretty sure if you dodge an attack, this is really weird, you can still get CC'd. So, say you have like 25% dodge, and you dodge an attack. Alright, you dodge the attack, but you may not dodge the CC proc. So the freeze, like the 25% chance to get frozen, might still hit you, which is weird. Really weird, but I've seen it happen. Also, so, most people would say, hey, I will do less damage, but if I CC them, that's pretty broken, especially ones that last 2 turns. That means I get to attack twice before they can do anything, as long as I'm faster than them. So, I think that's what makes Beowulf strong. Like, this just came up randomly in my head, is he's an assassin, right? Like, he's probably one of the fastest heroes in the game. And he has a freeze, so I think potentially he could be strong because of that, right? What was I going to say? Oh, yes. What confuses me is the top teams aren't really running like full CC teams or even half CC teams. What I've seen most of is full damage teams, full bleed, full shock, bleed. Not too much poison, but like Jachungbi, who you don't really take for the silence, you take for the damage, or heroes like that, right? And I think, at least this is what happened in Tap Tap Gilgamesh is for sure the best dodge tank. If you want to run a dodge tank, I think Gilgamesh is like, I think he could be meta. Like you remember like in Tap Tap, like I wanted to do a dodge tank with Mulan, but at the end of the day, it was just stupid. It was just dumb. Like, I wanted to run it. I could get to 70%, but people still hit me so much. Yeah. So what confused me is like, man, why is no one running CC? Because in Tap Tap early on, it was so broken. But what happened in Tap Tap Heroes that made CC a lot worse? I'll tell you what happened. It was 2 things. The heroes were Phoenix and Valkyrie. Phoenix made CC irrelevant because he could out heal you even while CC'd with his resurrection, and then if he wasn't CC'd permanently, he would cast a heal and you'd be done for, right? Like you couldn't do anything. The team, same with Shred Mellow, like your team would come back to full health. This was early on, right? And then after that, like it got worse. CC got even worse. And what's the reason? It was Valkyrie. Damage. People did not care if they got CC'd. All they had to do was hit you one time and you would die. And also her healing was insane. Like Valkyrie also brought a huge amount of healing as well. So there comes a point in the game, it's called power creep, like damage creep especially, where because of levels and because of like all the artifacts and runes and cards and like equipment, where damage becomes so good in the game that CC and like other mechanics in the game are useless because you can just kill teams so fast. It all came down to speed and damage. Or healing and damage. Like you out-healed the enemy team to the point where you can like stall out, but that's not. I don't think that's how this game is gonna go. I think it's gonna be just straight burst damage. So yeah, and there's so many damage buffs too. So think about like also damage teams. People tend to gravitate towards damage teams, like full damage teams, because it's usually really good in PvE as well, right? So even if the best team in the game were a full tank team, like in arena, like the best team like would be like a bunch of Arthurs, and they somehow like whittled you down till you died. That's not how it works, by the way, but let's just hypothetically let's say that people would still never build that team, right? People would still never build that team because they would be garbage at Guild Boss. They'd be garbage at Dungeon. They wouldn't be able to push Portal. Like, there's too many other aspects of the game that pure damage does still pretty good in, that you would never want to build an arena-only full tank team or full healer team. So, I don't know, I'm just theory crafting. This whole tank thing, man, I already named the video wrong, guys. My bad. Just started talking about random crap. Okay. Where was I? I was talking about speed, talking about CC. I still think a good mix of CC. And dang, I'm gonna keep going about this topic because I just thought of something else. Another thing is the go to the hero, go to Horus. Let's just use Horus as an example. Everybody has this. All the damage heroes have this plus damage to bleeding unit, and it scales really well. It's really good. Like, this is almost like true damage, guys, because if you're on a team with a bunch of synergies that actually apply this effect to them, then you're just adding percentage damage. It's really good. So let's use this. Let's use Poseidon and Horus as an example. They're both blue. I mean, one's Ranger and one's Mage, but that's fine. They're both blue. They're in different factions. They both deal damage, and they apply their CC or their like effect. Horus has a 55% chance to apply a bleed to 3 random units. Also, on normal attack, he has a 25% chance. So remember that, guys. 55, 25. Where's Poseidon? Well, if I filter it by Ranger, I'm not going to find Poseidon. I guess I won't find it if I filter this way too. Okay. 55, 25. Look at this. Poseidon has 18% and only to 2 units. Not even like 3 units, which Horus does. And his normal attack is only 10% chance to freeze. Now, does that make sense? Yes. 18 to 10, 55, 25. Why does this make sense? Is because Bleed isn't as good as CC, right? Like, yeah, you're doing a little bit more damage over time with Bleed, but to being able to stop the enemy from doing anything, that's way better than just putting a Bleed on someone. Freezing them for 2 turns, but this is where it changes. Remember what I brought up earlier? Is that Poseidon needs them to be frozen to keep up with the damage at all. Like, damage to frozen units plus 15%. I told you how I think this is one of the best stats in the game. It's just plus damage percentage. Like, that's true damage. You guys who have played Tap Tap, that is true damage. Just take whatever number you would normally do and add a percentage of that number to it. So, on bleed teams, you're able to spread out the bleed more often, meaning you're going to do way more damage than CC teams. And I think that's what ended up happening, is the damage scaled up so high towards the end game where everyone was optimizing their heroes that the CC couldn't keep up. It wasn't just the CC couldn't apply enough CC, it also couldn't keep up with damage at all because it couldn't apply the bleeds to as many people, right? And I think that's what makes this game different than Tap Tap for CC, early game Tap Tap at least, CC and damage, is that CC just, or that damage just scaled too well in this game, especially with this stat right here. I wonder if other people think about that when they make their team, or just me. And, people... I'm sure other people do, but a lot of people. I'm wondering, do a majority of players think about this? Like, why does this hero do so much more damage than my other hero? Things like that. Maybe. And I'm probably missing a bunch of stuff. Yes, the silence is just the percentage is too low. That's why I think freeze was better than silence, but the heroes can make up for it in their other skills, right? Like, look how awesome this ability is. Like, these two stats are just so great. Skill point up and recast. This hero is just gonna constantly be casting skills, right? And why not just give him the plus? Where is it? This is what I did to my Changvi. Just for fun. I wanted to try it. And now I'm just... Oh, there it is. Go 6 into Medusa's Curse and get skill point plus 50%. So they start the round off with like a Tear of the Goddess or whatever, basically. Oh, here. This is even better. Fiery Furnace. 4 of them gives you... And... This is actually... Fiery Furnace is just a great line, in my opinion. It gives you 10% attack, and then at 4, it gives you skill point plus 50. This is one of the cases where, in a card set, I wouldn't run 2/2/2 early on. Like, if you... These are pretty cheap. Like, I mean, it's way better for burn units. Obviously, skip this one if you're not a burn hero, and you can keep this. That's fine. And maybe skip, like, the burn resist and go, like, crit rate, speed, crit rate, and burn. 50% skill points, awesome. Also Berserk. This is a good stat too, max skill point. This is cool they introduced it to the game too. Berserk seems really OP. I mean, trying to get confirmation on what Berserk actually does because it's so confusing to me. It doesn't help. Like, the descriptions don't help, is what I'm saying. Like, I can't understand what you're trying to tell me here. Are you saying that for every percentage of missing health, they get that percentage of attack? If so, I think that's okay. It's pretty good. But when we asked the devs, they didn't say that. They confused me, and they were like, oh, no, when you drop below 30% HP, you get 100% of your attack. Like, wait, that doesn't even make sense. Like, just explain it. In here, why can't you just tell me the exact numbers? This is like the number one criticism of this game is readability of skills. It needs a complete overhaul. And honestly, they should just hire someone else to do it because the people who have already done this have not done a good job. Give it to me. I'll do it for like basically free. Just give me like your Give me your formulas, and I'll break it down and try to figure out how to make these words better. Like, obviously this is fine. Increases double attack. I understand. But there's other stuff that doesn't make sense. Like in the hero skills. I mean, I can find a ton of them. Anything with Berserk needs clarification. Anything with like I hope they fix it. Because I've heard fix a lot of times, but that doesn't mean fix. This is cool. Like, he could be strong. Has anyone run this guy? Like, if Berserk is actually OP, then start of turn... Like, he starts off Berserked for 3 turns. That's a long time. Oh, continuous heal. Yeah. Hold on. Let me find a supporter that has... It's going to be hard if I filter by not supporter. Just take all the filters off. There you go. Wait, you're telling me... Okay, of course. The one supporter I picked doesn't have it. There it is. Creates a hallucination on the spot of ally's death. This hallucination stats are linked to... This does not help me at all. This does not help me at all. Yeah, but Berserk combined with like invincibility. Like, think of Lilith, right? She drops down to 1% health. If she were to activate Berserk at 1% health while she's invulnerable or invincible for 2 turns, seems pretty strong. I think that's... Sky King, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking the same thing. Like, the lower your health is, the more attack you get. But when we talked to the devs, they didn't make it sound like that. They made it more confusing. Especially, it's confusing how Berserk can go over 100%. Did you see that on Goet? I don't know how to pronounce his name, but the red burn guy. Where is he? Where is he? Did you see that? He can actually get plus 5% on his Berserk. It can go over 100% Berserk. What does that mean? It's not a 100% chance. Why would you go over 100% chance, right? So it has to scale with the damage. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Start of turn 3. That's still really good. I think with Burn, you have to have a lot of good healers. And you do. You have good healers. You have Aphrodite. You can run Da Vinci, too. Although, if you run Da Vinci... I mean, yeah, I would run Da Vinci. Why not? I think... I actually would really like to run a burn team, but it's kind of sad that I saw someone already do it. I don't want to copy a guy who's already done it. I mean, you're going to eventually copy a lot of people because so many people are playing the game. But I kind of wanted to do it without someone else doing it, too. I'm just being greedy. Yeah, and the damage... That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Find another hero that has Berserk. Give me... Who else? Who has Berserk? Saladin, maybe? I don't know this hero that well. He might not have it. No, he doesn't. No. Hanzo? Dang. I should know. I've read Berserk so many times. I should know who has it and who doesn't. Maybe Nero has it. No. Oh, yes, he does. I mean, there it is again. Berserk 100%. Yeah. HP, but look, his HP is... As long as his HP goes below 70%, he gets Berserk. And it lasts for 5 turns. It seems like it would be strong, guys. Like doubling your attack, 100% extra attack. 100% extra attack. Alright, guys. I have to leave in 5 minutes. So, I don't know. Just to wrap it up, I said I was going to talk about tanks, and I didn't. I'm sorry, really. I just always get caught up talking about something else. But Valkyrie's, I think, going to be a decent tank. I don't think she's top tier. Or I think she's top tier because she's mythic, like compared to the other tanks. But I don't think she's the best in the game. I think she's pretty good. Gilgamesh is a dodge tank. I'd like to see someone run it and tell me how good it is. I think it'll be strong if you fully tech him out into dodge. Go like dodge cards, dodge, put him up with someone, put him on a team, or maybe someone else in the front line who increases like your front line's dodge, or a random hero's dodge. You know, Enkidu is pretty much the only tank you can run for Petrify, because he does that like return damage back and can Petrify, which is really strong. But other than that, his skills are trash. Golem is, I mean, no one's going to use that. Athena is probably the best tank in the game. Musashi, I didn't review. I said I would. Elder, if you're still on, I'm going to run through this really fast. I can do it again later. Negative recovery is really OP, so I like that. The bleed is good. That's a really big bleed, by the way. So far really good, but it's single target, so. Max HP, attack, bleed resist. Ooh, he doesn't do extra damage to bleeding heroes. He just gets plus 10% attack when he's attacked. 50% chance. If this stacks, it's really strong. We'll have to test to see if this stacks. We'll have... And only lasts for 2 turns. It's okay. This is good. You always want some survivability. This is okay. He's not great, okay? I don't like him that much. Like, as your main tank, by the way. I do not think he can main tank at all. Please, don't put him in the front by himself. He will die way too fast. But maybe in a 3-3, he could be strong. Maybe. I could take him in a 3-3. He's like one of those middle heroes. Oh, I think Dual Enchant's strong because he has the revive, right? This guy can revive. Or something. He has something that, like, immortal. That's what it is. Yeah, Dual Enchant's strong because of immortal. Yeah, I think Dual Enchant's really strong. And he has a taunt. This is dumb. If this were, like, damage reduction, he'd be actually broken. But it gives him attack. He doesn't want to attack. He's like a full tank. Also, he can go into a 2-4 because he's gonna taunt, so he can like give your other tank a break. Like him paired with Musashi wouldn't be that bad, right? Because he's gonna help Musashi like stay alive a little bit longer with his taunt. But I mean, Immortal's awesome. Too bad he only hits one guy. I don't like tanks that only hit one guy. I like tanks that hit everyone and apply a condition. For little damage. I don't want my tanks to do damage. I'm looking for tanks that hit everybody for a little bit of damage but apply a debuff. Ta-da! That's why Athena, I rank her so high. It's because she hits the entire enemy team and she can petrify 2 of them. That's way better than single target. And she has this, which is awesome, by the way. I told you, if you're running a 1-5 and you want a really OP tank, you have to have this condition. To the attacker upon damage. This is so good. Also, I think this skill was fun. I'd like to pair Athena with what's the Pain Share guy? I think the Pain Share and the Justice could be a fun combination. His name's like Zhuang Di or something. You know who I'm talking about, the old guy with the beard. I said Thor's not a good tank. I think Siegfried is like, you have to run him if you're running Freeze. You have to run Siegfried if you're running Freeze. Leonidas, I told you, was decent. Not as good as Arthur, but if you're running Changbi and Zeus, like I was doing, I had to run Leonidas. And I thought he did okay. I did want to replace him later, but I put him up there with Thor, so I had 2 frontliners, so it wasn't that bad. He was doing 1-5 pretty well for a while, but it fell off hard once we got to higher levels. Cthulhu, you have to have him as your tank for poison. Like, you have to have Cthulhu tank for you. He applies poison to enemies when he gets attacked. That is awesome. Alexander, I told you, is the best mystery tank in the game. That's my opinion. Quetzalcoatl is the like go-to burn tank. I think she dies too fast, but if you have Aphrodite with her to keep her alive, it could be good. I told you King Arthur is like the upgraded version of Alexander. They actually kind of look similar too, so it's like gold armor. Alexander just up, it levels up into King Arthur later. Second best legend tank on burn teams. Quetzalcoatl is actually first best, right? With a full burn team, and with a really good healer. But that's too niche, Like in general, she's not. I don't think. So second best legend, probably Dulichan. Like Quetzalcoatl, you have to run burn with her. Dulichan, you can kind of throw in any team. Also, what makes King Arthur so good is you can just throw him into whatever team. He'll just go invincible. Like, he doesn't have to be in a full one synergy comp. I think Dulichan is also he's not as good as Arthur, but he's like the next one. Like, right behind Arthur is Dulichan. You can just throw him into whatever garbage team you want. Like, here you go. Like, not garbage team, but whatever synergy. Like, this guy's got immortality. Just put him in. Like, he'll tank. Like, if you're looking for straight tanking power, these two are definitely the best. Quetzalcoatl in the right circumstance, I think, is better than both of them. But that's just my opinion. I mean, all of it's my opinion, but that's just a strong opinion. And then Enkidu, you have to run it. Like, Enkidu is like a worse version of Quetzalcoatl, but for Petrify. Why run Enkidu when you can run... Oh, I didn't see Petrify. I meant Burn, sorry. I think it's just a worse version of Quetzalcoatl. Like, I'm just going to run Quetzalcoatl. I'm not going to run Enkidu. Wait, I'm so confused. Shouldn't he be Petrify? Why is he not Petrify? Oh, I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. Oh man. I was right the whole time. It was this. I still think he's like a worse version. Hey, Roadhouse, thanks for subscription. And just in time for me to get off. I'm sorry. I'm done with streaming for today. I did an hour, but it's Friday, so I got to go, do stuff. Get dinner. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm sorry I didn't go through the tanks more. I will do it again one day. I might even make a short video just like going through the tanks. I just kind of need some more experience with the game before I go too far. I've only got about 3 months of experience with this game, which is a lot more than most people, but still not enough for me to say, like, don't do this ever. Always do this, kind of, I'm just giving people ideas. That's my goal with these streams. Just give people ideas. Like, hey, this could work. Maybe go for that invincibility double attack. I don't know if it does work very well, but just try it. Or, the whole poison petrify combo. I don't see anyone running it. I think it has potential synergies between the... There's synergies between the two synergies. That's just what I'm trying to do on stream. Alex, though, you can't even join the guild unless you're running meta.